everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, I am doing a Magic Knight Rayearth anime revamp prep video where I reread the manga and I rewatch the old anime. Now, the old anime, is it of the time? Yes, 1000%. I love that. Now, some things I wish that I hope they don't keep, or wait, let me start off good. Some things I hope they keep are kind of like the dynamics between the girls, because like that was something that was so endearing with the manga and with the old anime, and the dynamics between the characters. And number two, character designs and kind of stuff that's integral to certain characters. Now, this comes through more in like part 2 of the manga and then season 2 of the anime. But like you have the kingdoms of Autozom, Faran, and then Chizeta coming in to try to have their people become the next pillar of Sephiroth. And do I think that approaching the cultures that those kingdoms were based off of, especially Faran and Chizeta, do I think that approaching those cultures could have been done better? 1000%. But especially for like, if you look at like Caldina, like where she came from and that kind of where she came from, her country was like so integral to her character, especially in season 2, that like I hope, like, do I think that they need to respect the cultures like India and China that Chizeta and Faran were based off of? Yes. I don't want them changing that. I hope that they keep that, just because again it was an integral part to some of the characters like Caldina, and then even like our main trio, specifically Umi and Fu. Like having that interaction was so integral for their characters and their character developments in season 2 and in part 2, that like I said, I do think that they need to respect it and showcase a little bit more of the culture and cultural clothing properly. But I don't want them to change that. I want them to keep that, but just properly honor and integrate the cultures that they're based off of. I don't want them to change that. So I want to keep it, but properly honor those cultures. So those are some things I want it to keep. What else is there? Oh yeah, like the relationship dynamics, like the romantic relationship dynamics. Something that I really loved is that out of our 3 main girls, Fu is the only one who definitively ends up with a person, like who definitively ends up in a relationship with Fiero. With Hikaru, you can basically deduce who she ends up with. Also, I'm not going to avoid spoilers in this. What I mentioned about season 2, I don't really consider that a spoiler, since that's kind of early on, or revealed early on. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm not going to avoid spoilers in this video, but I'm going to try to talk about them closer to like when I'm watching about it or reading it. But with Hikaru, you can kind of deduce who she ends up with at the end of season 2. But like it is a little bit more open-ended, but like I said, it's pretty clear who she will end up with, even though she doesn't end up with anyone specifically by the end of part 2 of the manga, season 2 of the anime. And then with Umi, there's one definitive love interest for Umi, but there's 2 pairings for her that a lot of people have shipped her with, myself included. I ship her with both. I'm not going to say anything about that. I will talk about it a little bit, at least the definitive love interest. I will talk about that a little bit once I get to part 2/season 2. So those are things I would want them to keep, where it's like the relationships, it is more centered on their friendship and their friendship growth. And like learning to love themselves, and like that's an important part. And also just like being happy in like whatever relationships they have. And like Fu being in a more definitive relationship doesn't discount Hikaru and Umi not being in one, and Hikaru and Umi not being in relationships doesn't discount Fu being in one, which that's something I want them to keep. Just like respect, like they don't, like not everyone needs to definitively end up with someone by the end. So that's something I want them to keep. I do want them to keep like the love interest. I do want them to keep that plot, but I don't want it to be like, I kind of want it like with Umi, hers was especially vague because it's like she had the one love interest, but like she basically kind of says no at the time, and there's still the possibility because like her and her love interest are very close. It's kind of like a one-sided love interest because he likes her, obviously, but like you can't really tell, like you don't really see how much she actually likes him. Partly because Hikaru is like the main character. But there's a second character that is shipped with Umi. Again, I shipped him with Umi as well. Like, I've lost my train of thought, but I don't want them to like definitively put these girls with their love interests. Like, not everyone has to be definitively put with their love interest just so that everyone has like a happily ever after. Like, happily ever after doesn't necessarily need to be like, oh, I end up in a relationship, which is what I liked about this. So those are some things I want them to keep, some things I want them to change. This is a slight spoiler, and I will talk about it more once I hit the end of part 2, both with the manga and then season 2 of the anime. Eagle was my baby. I love him to death. It's like, I love that man. And this is slightly spoilery, and again, I will talk about it more when I hit the end of season 2. Excuse me. And the end of part 2 as well, in the manga. But at the end of the manga, Eagle does not die at the end of the manga. He is basically put into a coma after like the big battle, or like the big thing. So Eagle is put into a coma, and in the anime he dies, which is so fucking stupid because it's like he didn't die. So it's like in my perception, like Eagle like comes back to pretty soon after being in a coma. He's not in a coma long, but it's like he doesn't die. So why'd you have him? I mean, part of it was just for like the shock value, and to have like someone lose someone, and to have like a life be lost. But it's like, not everyone needs to die here, okay? We don't need people to die. So I don't want Eagle to die like he did in the original anime. There was something else I was thinking about when I was talking about this. Eagle dying. Oh yeah, Debonair and Nova from season 2, they were not in the original manga. I wouldn't. This is the thing. It's like a small part of me wouldn't mind if they were in the anime again. I think they could be handled better. I don't think, actually, never mind. I don't think Nova's necessary at all. I don't want to see her in. I wouldn't mind if Debonair was in, but at the same time, I'm like, I'd rather not, but like, I wouldn't mind it. But I'd rather not have Debonair or Nova in. For sure, not Nova. Because they were not in the manga. There's something else, though. Oh, so this is something where it's like, this would be a slight differentiation from the manga, but basically at the end of the manga, it's like they can't go back, or I think they can go back and visit Sephiroth, but it's like they don't stay. And like, again, this is something where it's like in my headcanon, they're able to choose to stay, and then they can go back to Tokyo if they want, but it's like they choose to stay in Sapporo. So it's like that would be something that I wouldn't mind them changing. Like I would love for the girls to be able to stay in Sapporo and have their happily ever afters there because of how much time they spent in Sapporo and how much love they have for Sapporo. So it's like that's something I wouldn't mind them changing. There was something else, I can't quite remember it right now. Anime equals death. As for stuff that I would want them to like change, that's all I can think about right now. I know I've said like that I had something else in mind. I just cannot think of it for the life of me right now. Unless it was the whole Debonair and Nova thing. I don't think it was that though. But I am going to start off with the rewatch. Largely because I was listening to the music, the soundtrack. While I was at work today, I was listening to the soundtrack. And also, so that's part of the reason why I'm starting with the rewatch. And also, excuse me, I kind of want to read it in this edition, in this paperback edition. And I only have book one and book 2 of part 2. So these 3 are part 1, and then these 2 are part 2. There's book 3 for part 2. And I want to be able to like read it all in the same, in the same format. Now, technically, I don't have book 3 yet. I want to go get book 3. But technically, like I said, I could. I'll link a video down below in the description. Technically, I could read both because I have the 25th anniversary edition sets for both. So, I'll link the unboxing video that I did for part 2. The 25th anniversary edition. But like these are so pretty. Okay, so to show you, these are so pretty. I'm just gonna show you the books for each part. Or let's show you the box first. So this is the box for part 1, Magic Knight Rayearth. So, and then I'll show you the books for this one because it's show and tell right now. And also, I wouldn't mind doing some promotional stuff for Magic Knight Rayearth, the new anime. So Clamp, if you're watching this, if this gets sent to you, I wouldn't mind helping do some promotional stuff for y'all. Because I love this anime. This was one of my first mangas and animes that I ever read and watched. It was 100% like first or second anime that I watched. And it was like the first manga that I'm pretty sure it was the first manga that I had read. So like, if you need someone to, I love the show. I will defend the show. I will defend the series. I will defend the show. Like I said, was the anime of its time 1000%. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad about that. Like, sometimes it's like, that's what you love about it. This is the first book for part 1. It's the back. And like, I did like, going back to like my fanfiction writing days, which I still sort of will return to and dabble in. I did have an original character for Magic Knight Rayearth, so, and of course she was like a 4th Magic Knight, which I've kept. Like, I haven't fully fleshed out that fanfiction yet. I never post my fanfiction just because I'm not going to. But yeah, she was a 4th Magic Knight, and she was like, because she had to be like special. You know, because when you create an original character for fanfiction, she has to, like, your OC has to be, like, the special one. Your original character. So it's, like, she was, like, the mage of the Magic Knights. And her color scheme was, like, black and yellow, I think. With, like, honeycomb pattern. So, she, like, hers was, like, bee-centered stuff. Like, bee-centered spells. Well, not just bee-centered spells, but, like, bee-appearing spells. Bee-centric spells. But anyway, so that was my OC. I'm never going to publish my fanfiction. But this is book 2. Isn't Umi lovely? I would, like, there is a part of me, this is bad. There is a part of me that would love to cosplay all of these characters. Because it's like, I do cosplay, and I need to get back into cosplaying because it's like, I miss it. But things are so hectic still. And mentally, I just do not have the capacity for it. But I would love to cosplay all three of these girls. And then, like, something that I always wanted to do was, like, couples cosplay. If I ever end up in a relationship. I wanted to do, like, Hikaru. And then one or both of her love interests. And then Fu and her love interest. And then Umi with one or both of her love interests. Well, her one love interest, and then the other guy that she shipped with. Like, I always wanted to do that, but that's probably never gonna happen. And then book 3 for part 1 is Fu. I always loved Fu. Like, I always related to her, a large part of it was just because of the blonde hair and the glasses. Because personality-wise, I definitely am more of a combination of Hikaru and Umi. So that is part 1. To show you part 2, I did show part 2 in an unboxing video, which I'll link down below in the description. But here's the box. 25th anniversary. I did save up like my Barnes & Noble rewards for this, so that was fun. So book 1. Oh yeah, there's an art book too. Let me pop that out of those. So this is the art book for part 1. And it's like, when was this? This was 2022, I think. 2022, 2023, when Anime Expo just started back up. We saw some cosplayers who were dressed up as Hikaru and Fu, and their Umi was somewhere else. But it was like, we were talking, like, I remember this distinctly too. We were like in the hallway, we were talking, we were like, oh my gosh, we love it. We don't really see a lot of cosplayers. Like, I wanted to do it, but timing and funds and stuff. I don't remember what I said about that. But, and then we started talking like, oh my gosh, like, Clamp is revamping some of their other anime. Like, they need to revamp Magic Knight Rayearth. We mentioned that in like 2022, 2023. And it was like, we called it. I don't remember who these girls were, but like, they were so sweet. And I remember part of the reason why this is also very special to me, and then I'll get back to showing you part 2, is that I remember, like, I have a lot of good memories of like Magic Knight Rayearth associated with Anime Expo. Like, my first Anime Expo, I went 2012, and 2012 was my first year. I only went one day, and I found a Hikaru and an Umi, and I remember looking for the Fu. I just couldn't find her. And like, they were in like the full battle armor gear, the full Magic Knight Rayearth armor gear, Magic Knight armor gear. And it was like, I remember their cosplays were so beautiful, and it's like, that was when I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to cosplay them. And the Umi and the Fu, the Umi and the Hikaru that I ran into, like, they were so sweet, like I mentioned. So it's like, that was my very first year too. So yeah, getting back to showing you part 2. Like I said, I already showed this, and there's a slight part of me that wants to be able to cosplay like a lot of their different outfits, like their school uniform, and then I would want to, I don't know if I would want to do like the middle armor parts where it's like just the shoulder pieces. I would want to do their school uniform, and then the full armor looks, and then like some of these looks from part 1 or from part 2. So like this dress for Hikaru, and then this is Umi is next up. If I can get this back in. Umi, this dress for Umi. I would want to cosplay this version too. And then let me pull this art book out. And then Fu. And it's like, so that is, I feel like that part is a little bit of a pipe dream, but like, it is what it is. So, and then this is the second art book. Again, I'm not going to show the art book. But getting back on topic, technically I could read it, but I am intending this more as my display set. And I am giving into like the consumerism aspect of everything here. But like, this is more of my display set, and part of it, kind of like my logic with organized, part of it is because I love the series so much, and this is what really got me into manga and anime. So I'm just like, this one at least needs a display edition, and then the editions that will be more worn, torn, this. So like I said, technically I could read it, but I'm gonna wait until I have all these paperbacks. So one moment while I go put these babies back on my bookshelf. Okay, so apologies for the noise. It's the AC unit. I did have it off, but it was just starting to get a little too warm in here because it's been hot as fuck. I try not to swear too much, but for me, I kind of see there's like a difference between swearing at someone and just using curse words in your language in like your sentence, and there's like a difference between the two, with like the intention behind it. So I'm not gonna get into that conversation right now, but I'm gonna start watching, and this might hurt a little bit. I remember I started watching it with my friend at one point when we were visiting. I had to tell her about the Ponyo exhibit at Academy Museum. I had to tell her about the Ponyo exhibit because she might want to go do that. So I'll see if she wants to. I don't know if she can though. I'll see. I'll text her about it. Text them about it. I think they go by they, them pronouns. They, her pronouns. I'll also double check about that too. I feel like a bad friend, but it's like when I've talked to them about it, like we've talked about it a few times at this point, because we've known each other for like, let's see, for close to 23 years now at this point. Like 22, 23 years. And when I've asked my friend about it, I'm just like, hey, so do you mind, I know you go by this now, do you want me to call you this? Like, because I know I still sometimes call you by this name, your given name, your birth name. And they were like, oh no, it's okay, you can call me either, whichever. And I'm just like, and I told my friend, I was like, if you want me to, I 100% will, and I'll catch myself, just tell me. And my friend was just like, oh yeah, I'll tell you. And like, I'll tell you if I want you to do that, but like, I'm okay with either. And then, like, kind of like the same thing with the pronouns. Like, I'm like, I still sometimes will refer to you as she, her, and my friend was like, oh, that's fine. So, like, but I don't know if my friend's watching this. If you're watching this, hi. You know who you are. We were watching this recently, and they were telling me they were watching it with their boyfriend, and they're like, the boyfriend couldn't handle it. I'm like, I can understand why. But, anyway, I'm going to start watching this, and as usual, I'm going to start off with the opening, and then I'm going to start off by watching the opening and watching the ending, and then once I get through it, I'll skip the opening and intro for later episodes. And if there's any parts where I feel like I want to react, I will. And otherwise, you'll see me at the end. You'll see me whenever, updating wise. I might have you over here just to make it easier on myself. But yeah, that's the plan for right now. We're just gonna start watching. We're gonna have a good time. I love this anime so much. Like, it means so much to me. So yeah, we're gonna have a good time. And do we have, I keep getting distracted, I keep putting it off. Magic Knight Rayearth Remake. Scheduled to premiere in 2026. The series is confirmed to air 2026 on... where can I watch this? Where TV Asahi. Okay, so it's confirmed to air in 2026 on TV Asahi and its affiliates. So I'm gonna quickly look up TV Asahi because it's like I don't want to if I don't have to. Okay. Okay. Actually, where can I watch? Okay, I'm gonna come back to you. I'm not taking. Oh crap! I pressed the wrong button. So. Oh my god, it's gonna be 30 years old. Crunchyroll, potentially. It's on Netflix? The original one's on Netflix. Oh my god. Okay, I have to see. Do they have they have both seasons? Okay, I had to check something out really quickly. Okay, so they have English. They have it on Netflix. Oh my god. I just searched it up on Knight Rayearth because I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna bother. But then I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. Because I was like, where can I watch it? Oh boy. So maybe Netflix. Okay, maybe Netflix. Maybe it'll come to Netflix. I don't know when that. The only thing is I would probably watch it on 9anime. I just don't know when 9anime would have it. I'm just gonna. Do I have a link to the teaser somewhere? It's so pretty. I've included the cover in. Or like the released. Oh yeah, so Reddit that I'm looking at, the new teaser visual Reddit. One of the top comments is, I love it. I always love it when modern interpretation of older works doesn't significantly modernize the designs. So yeah, that's a good point because it's like it just cleans it up a little bit while keeping the true design. Another comment says, for the youngins, this was isekai before it had a name and was redefined as boring dude gets a harem and superpowers for no reason. The comment goes on to say, super hyped about this. I love the original back in the day. It's a shoujo isekai that's also kind of mecha show. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. What are some of the other comments? Because I'm enjoying this. Okay, I don't know what that comment's talking about. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how they like modernize or see how well, not modernize, but see how they. There's a video. I'm really excited to see how they do the Magic Knights, not Magic Knights. Well, that too, the Rune Gods. Do they show the Rune Gods? I've watched this. I just don't remember if they show the Rune Gods in this. One moment, I'm gonna pause you. I'm talking so much and I'm not getting around to actually watching it. Okay, so they are showing the old and the new stuff. Oh, my babies. I don't know if I'll get copyrighted for this, so I'm gonna pause you again. I wonder how they'll do like Emerald and Zagato. Like, I wonder how those. I haven't seen them yet. We saw. Wait, am I stupid? Maybe a little bit. We do see. That's the old designs though. From the looks of it, this was some of the older stuff. Okay. Okay. I wonder how they'll clean that up. Okay, so random. But I kind of wish that like Umi kept, or not Umi. I kind of wish that Fu kept the bow and arrow, because I felt like that was more fitting for like the wind god, Wyndham. Like I don't mind that they were all swords, because then it was all kind of like matching. But like I wish hers was like the bow and arrows still. Anyway, that's just a personal preference. Okay, so if you haven't seen the remake announcement video, I will link the Reddit link down below in the description. But I will now finally get to, excuse me, the rewatch, because that's what we're doing here. So because of where we're at already, I'm about halfway through episode 1. I'm loving it as usual, having some giggles, but like they're happy giggles, loving giggles. About halfway through episode 1, and I've decided, just because of where we're at so far, because of how much talking I did, I'm gonna make this into a 2-parter. So this part is the rewatch, and then next week's video will be the reread. And then I have a playlist that I created for when eventually this does come out. I can do a reaction video and include it in that playlist. So yeah, I will see you all when I have a little bit more of an update for y'all. I didn't put you in my phone stand thing because I was lazy, so excuse any shaking. But this also kind of makes me wonder if they've gotten any of the original cast to rejoin. Now, I wouldn't expect, I mean, they did that with Fruit Basket, so it's like I wouldn't be surprised if they did that with the revamp, but at the same time I wouldn't expect it, because you know these are like 14-year-old girls or very young girls, and like it'd be kind of nice if like they were to reprise the show in like other side roles. So that would be interesting to see, like any of the main cast from this anime. 30 years, so 1996 is when it came out. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if any of them like did a little cameos. I would hope so, but I'm not expecting anything. Okay, so AC is still on because it's still pretty warm. Hair is fully up. I'm about halfway through episode 2 now. I'm not going to update with each episode, just because there's like 20 episodes in season 1, 26 episodes in season 2, or 29 episodes. I did start watching it on Netflix, but then I was just like, I don't want to mess up my Netflix setup. So basically what I do with Netflix, especially when I'm watching like Hilda, is usually I watch Hilda and then I do some crocheting, and I just let it play. So I just let the introduction play, the episode play, and then the credits play through, and then that way it just cycles through to the next episode relatively easily. And like the next episode button wasn't popping up and doing like the time thing to go to the next episode, and I don't want to like I said, I don't want to mess up that system for Netflix, because when I'm in the middle of like crocheting something, I don't want to like, usually sometimes I'm in like really in the middle of like doing it, and I don't want to like pause whatever I'm crocheting to click next episode. So I'm back to watching this on 9anime, and what I'm going to do is watch this. I think this will be a good like background show for me, because like I do really enjoy it, and it'll be easy background for like crocheting or reading. So I'm just going to watch it through on 9anime, update you every few episodes, and then at the end of the season. And then what I'll also do, and then what I'll do after that is like once I'm ready to like rewatch it while I'm like crocheting or reading, as that's when I'll use Netflix. So yeah, that's the plan. Again, I'll update you every couple of episodes, and then at the end of the seasons. And oh, there's also the OVA to watch, so I'll watch that too in this. So I'll give you all my thoughts. I think I'll have to double check when the OVA happens timeline wise, because I might watch that in between season 1 and season 2. We'll just see how everything goes. But I'll come back to you in a couple of episodes with a little bit of a better update. Okay, so I have the AC on just because it's been super hot today. I am nearing the end of episode 4. Really enjoying it. It's very much a turn your brain off anime. So like thinking about it a little bit more. Hopefully like they update some of the dialogue and the scenes a little bit, because like it is kind of cheesy at times, but again, like I said, it's of the time. It is turning into like, it's already kind of turning into like a show that I can crochet to easily, because I'm watching it on 9 anime, like I said. But like I've gotten these 2 pieces finished. I'm making a Winnie the Pooh for my friend. I don't think I'll have enough to be able to finish it by Sunday. It's currently Friday, so I have these 2 pieces, and I think got this done for the head of Winnie the Pooh. But I've done that much already. I finished one of these, and then I finished one because I'd started it, and then I did a full one while watching this, and then I did all this, which is 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. So yeah, and then just so there's like the color reference, this is the red that I'm using. I don't think I have enough to make the full thing, like I said, because I only got I don't have enough. I only got one of these. I was thinking of getting 2, but then I was just like, I'm gonna get 1 for right now. But I will need to go get some more, probably. But yeah, it's Magic Knight Rayearth. Excuse me. The 1990s version, very much a turn your brain off, easy, fun anime. So we're making some progress. I'm only 4 episodes in, but I'm just kind of like watching it as I go. So okay, so I have dinner, eggs and rice and toast, and I'm about to continue watching. I am on episode 17 of season 1, so I'm literally almost done. If I'm being 100,000% transparent, I am skipping through some of this just because it is something that like I have significant memories of, and I remember like 99% of this. So it's like I am skipping through of it because like once I start watching it, then I'm like, oh yeah, and it's like I don't have a whole lot of reactions. So I am skipping through a little bit. Like I said, I am still really enjoying it. I'm having a good time, and like at this point, like this wasn't meant to be like a super serious in-depth watch analysis, just because like this is very much of the time. I'm having quite a few giggles at this. Like I think I mentioned this, but hopefully they do update some of the dialogue, and update some of the conversations, because it's like it's not that it's necessarily bad, it's just it's of the time of anime and of manga of the time. So hopefully they do update the dialogue but keep like the inherent messages and messaging the same. What I'm going to do from this point forward, because we are getting a little bit on the long side with this video, not that that's a bad thing, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch season 1, watch season 2 through, and then give you all my thoughts, my updates. And then I don't remember the OVAs too much, so I am going to watch and give you guys a little bit more of a reaction to the OVAs. I remember like the basics of it. I might not give a reaction to the OVAs once I get to it, but as of right now, the plan is to give a bit more of a reaction, but once I get to the OVAs, depending on how much I actually remember once I start watching it, I may not have as much of a reaction. So, like I said, I'm going to finish season 1, watch season 2, and then give y'all an update, and then watch the OVAs, and then give you all my final thoughts. And once this video is over, next week's video will be the reread for the manga. I still have to get book 3. I have to get book 3. for part 2. So the reread will include me getting that, either ordering from Barnes & Noble, excuse me, either, like I said, excuse me, sorry about that, either ordering from Barnes & Noble or going to Barnes & Noble to pick it up. So if my Barnes & Noble has it, so I might just have to order it from Barnes & Noble and get it delivered. So yeah, thankfully I am recording these videos well in advance of when they're coming out. The plan is to have them come out in July, because that's when Anime Expo is, and that's kind of when I do a lot of my anime and manga related videos. So, and it's currently the last full week of March, so I have some time. I have some time to get the last book of part 2. But yeah, next week will be the reread, and I'm not sure, like, I think I mentioned this closer to the beginning of this video, but I do have a playlist for my Magic Knight Rayearth related videos. Just because once the remake comes out, I do plan to watch that and react to it. And I want to have like a consolidated place where I and all my subscribers can access that, and anyone who's interested can access these videos related to Magic Knight Rayearth. So that's why I have a playlist for it, and once it comes out, I do plan to watch it. And it does seem like it'll come to Netflix, hopefully, fingers crossed, because it's like they added the old anime to Netflix. So it's like, maybe it'll come to Netflix, hopefully, fingers crossed. So we'll see how that goes. But I will come back to you once I finish season 2. So I finished season 2. I don't think I'm going to react to the OVAs in this video, but they are kind of chaotic. I love it. I'm here for it. But I do hope that the remake stays true to the manga in regards to season 2, just because I feel like Debonair and Nova were seriously unneeded. Again, it's not something that I mind, but it's like unneeded, very much unneeded. And kind of like rewatching this, Magic Knight Rayearth is definitely an anime where the messaging isn't necessarily dated, but just like some of the approaches and the dialogues are dated, if that makes sense. Where, like, if you think of, like, especially like season 1, but like going into season 2 as well, and for the manga, part 1 and part 2, the whole reasoning behind the pillar of Sephiroth was that it was her thoughts, her prayers that kept up Sephiroth. And then end of season 2, you get it revealed. It's revealed that Hikaru was the pillar, which is how they were able to go back to Sephiroth. Hikaru was the new pillar after Emerald. And Hikaru says it'll be the people's prayers and the people's thoughts that'll make Sephiroth a beautiful place. And it's not just going to be on the shoulders of one person. And thinking of like kind of like that, and how it's like people's own efforts, and in Sephiroth, it's like the thoughts and prayers, it's more of like that's a form of magic, and that goes towards taking care of their land, whereas like translated into real life, into our world, it's like that would be their thoughts and prayers would be equivalent to us doing something about everything that's going on with our environment, with our political situation, with our social situation, and our economics, just with everything, with our socioeconomic, political, and environmental environments. Sephiroth's thoughts and prayers would be equivalent to us actually doing things to take care of each other and to take care of the planet we live on. So again, it's like the messaging itself is not dated. It applies no matter what time and place you're looking at it from. But again, it's like the dialogue is very much of the time, and is very cheesy at points. So that's why I'm like, I kind of hope that they update a little bit, but again, stay true to the messaging, stay true to the core of the dialogue, like not just the messaging, but also staying true to the core of the dialogue, because like there are certain things, certain dynamics, certain conversation and dialogue dynamics that need to be there for certain relationships and for certain dynamics. So it's like those things need to be there. So that's why I'm just like, I don't mind if they update the dialogue, update some of the language, but it needs to stay true to what Magic Knight Rayearth is at its core. Again, I don't think I'm going to react to the OVAs here, but I am going to watch them. I'll leave my reaction to the my thoughts to the OVAs down below in the description. But yeah, it just, you know, this actually kind of works out too with this video with my new scheduling. Since I now post on Thursdays and Anime Expo is usually Thursday through Sunday, this actually works out. Again, it's March right now. I don't think I'm going to go this year. I kind of want to. But I don't think I'm going to go this year. I think I'm going to intentionally give myself another break. One more year, and then 2027. Once 2027 hits, then I'll probably try to go back again and figure out things that way. But yeah, so there's that. And again, okay, I started saying this, but with my new scheduling posting, since I post on Thursdays, it kind of worked out with like the first day of Anime Expo for this year, and then with this video. My tentative plan is to kind of have this month, have July be more anime and manga centric. So next Thursday will be my Magic Knight Rayearth manga read through, and then I've had a video planned for a while now, because I remember in my like very early teens, like preteens going into early teens, so like 11, 12, 13, 14, probably no older than 13. I remember watching Mushishi on the TV. And I remember loving it. I have no recollection as to why I loved it so much. Absolutely no recollection, but I remember loving it a whole lot. And like I think a large part of it was the vibes. But like, I have a video planned kind of trying to see why I love that so much, why I loved that. So I think that's going to be another video this month. And then I have my Book Tag Tuesdays manga tag, the All Kinds of Heroes manga tag. I might do another manga tag. That's more manga centric rather than hero centric. And so that might be another video, and then like rediscovering why I liked Mushishi so much. That'll probably happen this month. As of right now, those are the only videos that are like on my mind, aside from Magic Knight Rayearth. If the remake happens before July, I'll try to watch the remake and also post that during July. And then I know Delicious in Dungeon is supposed to come out this year, I think. Let's see. Delicious in Dungeon. Season 2 release date. There it is. Okay, we still don't have a confirmed date. Okay, some speculation for late 2025 or 2027. So it could come out anytime this year. It could come out anytime. Let's see. Oop, there's a Reddit thread. I love how I just started talking about Delicious in Dungeon. But my point about this is that if Delicious in Dungeon comes out in time for me to watch it and have it up in July, have that video up in July, I'll also do that too. Okay, so the Reddit thread that I'm looking at for Dungeon Meshi, Delicious in Dungeon, has season 2 been delayed or still in production? It's pretty difficult to find accurate sources to know if season 2 is still in production or delayed. I also couldn't find any release date for season 2. I think all we know so far is that there will eventually be a season 2, and that it will contain the story of some or all of the remaining manga chapters not featured in season 1. They can take as long as they need to, so it doesn't look like, I don't know what OPM season 3 is. I don't know. Yeah, like, I agree that they can take as long as they need to. It's just like, I kind of like, some update would be nice, you know? I'm trying to figure out what OPM is. OPM season. I have no idea what it is. I don't know what OPM is. Oh, One Punch Man. You can tell that I'm not very much into like a lot of the newer stuff. Okay, that may, One Punch Man had 6 years. Oh wow. It had 6 years between seasons, not 6 years in production. Okay, fair enough. Let's see. A lot of people are talking about One Punch Man. It's still in production, but Studio Trigger seems to have a full plate, so I don't know when this is another comment. So I don't know when the actual timeline is what the actual timeline is gonna be. Doubt we'll even hear news until after Edgerunners 2 drops. It's just not been announced. They're likely still working on it, and it's more ready than, and when it's more ready, they will give us a date. It's happening still. Okay. Essentially would say, let them cook. Hope they'll take time to create the same amount of magic as they did in the first season. 100%. There is a certain classic rustic fantasy feel to Dungeon Meshi, along with the plots and soundtrack, and it really brings me back to some nostalgic old school RPG magically moments. Gotta let them stew, and hopefully don't destroy this with another One Punch Man. And I felt like apparently a lot of these people don't like the One Punch Man season. So basically, the whole point of looking into that was if Delicious in Dungeon comes out in a time, not that I would want them to rush it, but if it comes out in a time where I can get the video out sometime in July, I will. But again, I want to let them do what they need to do. But that is the end of this video. If you watched Magic Knight Rayearth, let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. Obviously, if you did not like it, be civil about it, because this is a very precious anime to me. I do see some critiques. I do see the validity of some critiques. But be polite about it, please. Thank you. If you're watching this and the remake is already out, let me know what your thoughts are on the remake. If the remake's already out, I've probably watched it too at this point, so you can spoil. If it's already out and you're watching this when it's already out, I've probably already watched this too, so you can leave comments down below in the description. If I'm gonna try to start doing this on more of my videos, but if you've made it to this point in the video, let me know what your first anime was down below in the comments. Your first anime and or manga. Let me know what it was down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.